Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. If we haven't met, my name is Sedacious Miles, the one and only, and welcome to the Respect the Game podcast. And like we always say, what's a podcast without your bros? So I'm gonna start it off. Please go follow me at I am Sedacious on Instagram. I am Sedacious on Twitter as well. I'm trying to get my Twitter followers up, and thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting. Yeah.
Yo, is the host with the most that blows the most smoke, Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug. Man, you already know. Be sure to go check out the reruns of Talking Smoke on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere get your dope podcast from. Been thinking about cooking up some more material. Keep me in your prayers. Let's go.
What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pops. Shout out to my mother, my grandmother for helping raise me too. Shout out to all the mothers out there. Happy belated Mother's Day to y'all. Yeah, man, make sure you go follow at EMAC Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. We're not disappointed. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful, illustrious sports world. The Olympics is not far away from us. Y'all see, we still doing the 3-on-3 tournament that we're gunning for. Y'all see we got a nice substitution rotation. Last week, Dacious was out. Shanghai Izzo stepped up. This week, Shanghai Izzo is out. We see Dacious stepping up. We're going to get to the Olympics, people. One way or another, we're going to get to the 3-on-3 tournament Olympics, man. But now, we are here before you today, ready to have a great show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like our brother Sedacious said, we don't take it for granted. Let's get to it. All right, so last week in the playoffs, yesterday, playoffs, LeBron shows up at the Cleveland Cavaliers game versus Boston, shows up, rather fashionably late, if you will, gets a, standing ovation, rightfully so. Crowd goes crazy, just showed up in the building. Hearing this and seeing this for just what it is at face value, do y'all feel like this was LeBron initiating a chess move, a chess piece on the board to, I don't know, get whatever conversation started, or possibly trade talks, or possibly him opting out of his Lakers contract, possibly positioning himself to, go on his farewell tour of retirement, being back at Cleveland Cavalier? How do y'all feel about this?
I mean, I could be wrong, but from my perspective, it's just LeBron being LeBron to me. If you look at the pattern of how LeBron displays his love and his passion, and his all around just humanitarianism, it's just him being, he's out, he's been the good sport that he's always been. And so why not, take a trip to Akron and while the playoffs are going on, and catch a game in Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? It's still my land for real, if we being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, what big star y'all got over here to where I can come in or I can show up to the game and the game is more about me than it is about the playoff team playing. You know what I mean? I don't think it's nothing to read. I don't think it's too much to read into. I think it's just LeBron being LeBron and him doing the great LeBron, because when you're a big time guy, you gotta constantly be doing big time things. And so sometimes you do antics just because everybody's expecting you to, and you kind of like it. You kind of like that you can do something small and receive so much publicity, so many comments, right? So much speculation. I mean, that's cool. And I say, just continue to do LeBron things how you do. It's what it is.
I agree with that pretty much. What I'm gonna say. I feel like LeBron knows that his stature, so therefore, like he can't do the typical thing that anybody else would do. Anybody else does this, you already know. Okay, the thing about going there. LeBron, he needs to kind of play mind games with the media, trick him up a little bit. Same thing with not even sorry. I think it's a nice pump fake. I can see him actually going to a New York Knicks game. Quote me, guys. I see him going because that's a possibility where he can go. I feel like the New York Knicks are already doing good in the playoffs as it is. And, I think LeBron is at a point where he's looking to be somewhere linked up with Bronny. and also be at a point where it's like, okay, wherever I'm going right now, there is no time, there is no recruiting. It's like I get on that team and we're going to the championship. There's no time to waste. There's no nothing else to do about it. I do feel like he's also trying to just kind of put in the general manager's minds that keep an eye out for my son because it's a package deal. You know, he's gonna be a low pick, of course, first round, possibly second. And I feel like these playoff teams have a good chance of picking up Bronny James, and why not pick up his father as well? So if you're gonna pick up the young sacrifice, you might as well get the GOAT as well. So it just depends on that's how I look at it, honestly. I just feel like the James family is cooking right now. And that's how I'm looking at it. I think it's just he's looking at potential teams that Bronny can go to. That's how I look at it. Cleveland is one of them.
Added note to y'all's takes and saying, hey, it's not much of anything. It was reported that the reason Braun and his wife Savannah, who are obviously reside in LA or even in Cleveland, is because that was a Monday game, and prior the day before Sunday being Mother's Day, they were in Cleveland, celebrating their mothers on Mother's Day, and decided, hey, stay extra day, go to the game tomorrow. So as far as we know, that's why they were in Cleveland to begin with. Yeah, Darnell, moving the conversation forward, talking about Bronny James. Bronny foregoes his collegiate eligibility to enter the NBA draft. A lot of people speculate, should he do it? Should he not do it? Came off the bench playing for USC. Obviously, in the summertime, he had the heart complications. That got cleared. That also played into his decision to enter the draft, I believe, because he was fully cleared medically by the doctors to say, hey, playing basketball, is something you can do without risking, your life, so to speak. And so, yeah, man, with Bronny making this decision, Bronny's 6'1", doesn't have all the optimal measurements you would like to see in a basketball player compared to what people seek in today's game in terms of you being freakishly tall, having a freakish wingspan. Nonetheless, Bronny is truly athletic. People speak highly in terms of him having a promise to, be able to be a solid 3-and-D guy. You know, showed today in the draft combine, went on a nice heater of a hot streak, showcasing his shooting ability from 3 in the draft combine. Yeah, man, but all those things, taken into consideration, and yes, the fact that his dad is LeBron James and LeBron is, getting nearing retirement. Do y'all believe? Start with you, Dacius. Do you believe that this is a good idea for Bronny James to enter the NBA draft and forego his collegiate eligibility?
Yes, I believe it's a great idea because essentially you're betting on, because see, with the heart complications, it makes this to where it's a great decision instead of a good decision for me, because with the heart complication, it's almost like a sign. You hate to say it this way, but it's almost like a sign from God to get your money, my nigga. You know what I mean? Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. When the doctor cleared you, yeah, and you still have these doubts going on in your mind, why even waste another ounce on college where you got one of the best players ever to learn from? You know what I mean? To pick his brain, to work out with and train with. So even if you are, a bona fide role player or a bona fide 6-man, I say at this point in time, the way it sits and how it's looking as far as you trying to play with your dad, it kind of all lines up to where, it's a no-brainer at a point. Because, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? That he get drafted and make some money. That's it. The worst that could happen is that he get drafted, make some money, They sent him somewhere to be developed. He bounced around. Get to the career as soon as possible because you never know what can happen with your health. So for me, on that standpoint, not necessarily just the money, which when money is involved, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? But
it's a great incentive.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like who in their right mind is gonna get mad at this kid who is thinking about his heart condition, who has the chance to play with his dad, and who has the chance to start his career, and he will be polarized. You know, he's LeBron James' son, so we're gonna polarize him no matter where he goes and what he does. It just is what it is. You know, you have all of these things waiting on you. I mean, I'm not gonna be mad at you. I'll be like, cool, yeah, you want to get an education and you want to, do more college development, that's fine. But if you also want to thrust yourself into the limelight, make the money, use the time that you have because you don't really know how much time you have, and you're now a little bit more fearful and concerned about your health and your time being able to play basketball, why not get as much as you can get while you can get it? That's how I feel. What you think, Edward? What you think, bro? Oh, wait, Darnell's coming off mute.
Yeah, I got a hot take for you. I feel like this is great for all parties. Just to kind of sideline, that big conversation about the GOAT. What's the one thing the GOAT wasn't able to do? Now, at one point, you even heard that his one of his kids were pretty damn good. He couldn't get through the college process, and it shows struggles right now that's how it's looking for Bronny James. Heart complications, not really getting that time starting for a D1 team, D1 college team. I feel like they didn't want to play that gamble. So I think the best thing for him to do was not to risk, how would you say it, college exposure. Because college basketball and professional basketball are two different things. You can have your opinions about it, but being in the position that he's in, LeBron doesn't know anything about college basketball. He knows professional. So therefore, I feel like he has an advantage with LeBron being his father, and him being able to give that perspective to his son of like, hey, this is how you play professional ball. College, we don't know nothing about college, bro. I skipped that. So I can help you in this introduction of being a young guy in the NBA. This and that. So I feel like the best thing for him to do is to get past his college phase, because I feel like that family doesn't know anything personally about the college life. They don't understand how to benefit from it, like LeBron didn't. So I don't expect Bronny to. You just don't learn that out of nowhere, how to flourish in college. That's something that I feel like is a whole path, and I feel like LeBron wasn't planning on making Bronny a college superstar. So yeah, in my head, I even think LeBron thinks college is a waste of time in an aspect of. He never said it, guys, but I feel like he thinks it's a waste of time as far as development of being a basketball player, especially with the fact of him doing it himself. I think in his head, he thinks that, bro, you don't need that. Look at me. So, yeah, I think it's a great idea with the fact that LeBron is his father. If he was anybody else's child, dumb idea.
Your reflection is like in the ceiling a little bit. I mean, it has nothing to do with nothing, but I don't know.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's interesting. It's not bad. I was just saying. No, so for me, I think Bronny coming out, the reason, well, first and foremost, if this is, like you said, Darnell, if this is anybody else's kid, considering your stats and, your health concern, your health history and your stats and, your measurements, bad idea. Like, who do you think you are, right? However, the cachet of who your father is drastically matters and plays a significant part in this role. And because of who your father is, I would trust and I would like to believe not only LeBron, but who his management will be, and that being Rich Paul, that they have been able to accumulate all the resources throughout all the years of their experience of being in the NBA to weigh every option, to turn over every stone, to know that this is the best decision for you, my son, my nephew. I don't believe they're making this decision with a, well, let's just see. I don't believe they're making this decision with like 50-50 aspirations. I believe if they don't truly believe or foresee Bronny landing on a team in this upcoming draft, they're not telling him to come out of the draft. That's just not happening. Um, and so because of all of that, factored into this equation, I think, in certain situations, there are outliers, right? In certain situations, there are some people who are the exception to the rule. And this situation, under these circumstances, who your father is, who your representation is, and Rich Paul makes you an exception to the rule to be like, we'll take care of it. Just come out. Like we'll see you on your way to where you need to go, and make sure that you're put in a position to be productive. And so yeah, I know LeBron, when he came out, when he was coming up, he was big on setting himself apart, and being his own man. I would believe or assume that he's also trying to train his son Bronny to do the same and be his own man. With Bronny saying, he kind of leaned towards the name of Bronny as opposed to LeBron James Jr. to kind of just identify himself as an individual apart from like just being LeBron James' son. So yeah, I don't think they make this move without Bronny doesn't make this move if he isn't expected to land on the team. If Bronny didn't land on the team in this upcoming draft, I would be completely shocked, because I don't think they made this move knowing all that they should know, and again being able to have all the resources that they have to them, for him to for us to look up and be like, yeah, Bronny didn't get drafted. However, if he did not go drafted, there's a great saying that Rich Paul has, where he coined it, where it's called fit over pick. Basically just saying value where you could actually be productive at versus where you actually picked at in a draft. So it makes no sense for you to be a 17th, 18th, 19th, or even a lottery pick if you're not going to a team that could actually like use you, or where you could actually properly develop. So even if Bronny were to go undrafted in this situation, again, Rich Paul, his connections, LeBron, his connections, could be put in a position to where like, okay, he went undrafted. Now we could actually put him in a position to send him where we may want him to go. Hey, LeBron could be opting out of his contract, and we could really see the politics at work here with LeBron using his power to be like, hey, my son went undrafted. You want me, you draft my son. This is no different than what Giannis is doing. You want me, you sign my brother. Simple and plain. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to keep me happy, you keep a roster spot for my brother. If Giannis can do it, why can't LeBron do it?
Hey, get better, Thanos. Thanasis, Achilles injury, hardworking man.
Right. And so yeah, man, if Giannis can do it for his brother, I see absolutely no problem with LeBron doing it for his son. So yeah, I think it's a good move, because I think apart from the surface level of what we see, they probably got it mapped out to where it should be a highly probable situation that will work out in the benefit of Bronny James long term in the league. Switching over to the WNBA, but leaving a window of comparison to cross back over to the NBA. Today was the debut of the WNBA, highly anticipated. Obviously, as Caitlin Clark makes her WNBA debut with the Indiana Fever. And they faced the Connecticut Sun, who were a great team last year. In Caitlin Clark's debut, she leads the team with a 20 ball. She has 20 points, 3 assists, and 20 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a total of 10 turnovers. So obviously, you know, that's gonna be a growing pain. The shit that's gonna just come with the game and her playing and getting more comfortable. Obviously, teams are gonna be hounding her. Defenses will you expect defenses to be tougher at, you know, the pro level than they were at the collegiate level. So definitely want her to turn down on those 10 turnovers. Definitely can't be taking her fantasy for prop bets if she getting 10 turnovers a game. But yeah, Caitlin Clark again, 20 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, 10 turnovers. She shot 5 of 15 from the field and went 4 of 11 from 3. Leading the Indiana Fever with 20 points. And she also led the Fever with the most shot attempts too. So first game, her debut, it shows her, you know, having the most shots on the team, being a leading scorer, all the things that you would hope for, and somebody that the WNBA is trying to build up to be the face of the league. Excuse me. However, they came up with a loss to be expected. The Connecticut Sun are a great team, and the Indiana Fever are stacked with a bunch of young players, and they always get high draft picks. So yeah, but with Caitlin Clark's anticipation, I thought about this today. With Caitlin Clark's anticipation into the WNBA, considering the just enormous run, the great run she's had as a collegiate player, do you believe that Caitlin Clark's anticipation into the WNBA is bigger than the anticipation of LeBron James entering into the NBA?
Okay. Hopefully I can sum up everything by saying just this. No. That's it. That's all I got. No.
Hey, I got something. I got something. Listen clear. Absolutely not. That is all.
No, bro. I don't even know if her. Well, you know what? I say she was a edge past Wemby. Edge past Wemby is what I give Caitlin Clark, because they was trying to put him up there like, this is the most anticipated since LeBron. No, it wasn't. I seen people with LeBron cut out church fans, and they was putting them over their face like they was LeBron. I walked in the Foot Locker the day after this man got drafted. I walked in the Foot Locker. Right when you walked in the Foot Locker, you seen a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey, bro. I'm talking about Houston, where they should have had a Steve Francis, a Cuttino Mobley. Any of these guys would have worked as far as putting their jersey up there. But no, they had the young man straight out of high school from Akron, Ohio. I'm like, yo, this guy must really gonna be big, whoever this LeBron James character is. Because they got his jersey up here, and I halfway know who he is. I heard his name. I ain't never really seen him for real. Oh, but when you watch him play, it all makes sense. So I tried not to go that far. No.
I will say at the end of the day, you do have to give her respect, because
course.
she does. You got to look at the scale. You know, NBA is like a world scale. WNBA is like basketball head scale.
Yeah.
So, you know, in my job, you know, we're running to people that, you know, are highly against the WNBA for their own personal reasons, but they respect Caitlin Clark. Like, that girl can play. There's no doubt about it. When they see her play, they see the highlights, see the numbers. It's undeniable. But to compare it to LeBron, that's a bit of a stretch. I do agree with the Wemby comparison area. I think just under Wemby. I think Wemby's was a little bit more hyped up and more
World
appropriate,
class.
in my opinion.
Yeah, because he was international.
Exactly. And even then, I feel like the international way, I feel like LeBron was the biggest in America and the world. I feel like Wemby was the biggest international coming in, and I feel like Caitlin was the biggest female to come in. Period. But to put them on a scale of comparing each other, they're way off of each other. Each one of them. I say the closest one to each other are Wemby and Caitlin. But even then, I still see Wemby being above.
I think
as far as like the hype.
I disagree, bro. I don't think I disagree in the sense that I don't believe it's astronomically like it's not even close. Don't you even dare say that. I think it's debatable of how like I'm not talking about game. I'm just talking about the anticipation, like the longly awaited arrival, like being called the chosen one, like bringing to life.
That was since like sophomore year in high school. Being called that, that's bigger than just college. Even if she was playing with the guys, I don't think people would think she's going to be world changing. Like LeBron was in high school and they were already like middle of high school and saying, "Yep, you're gonna change the world." They ain't doing that with Caitlin. They weren't doing it. Not to that.
Yeah, it's straight because bro, LeBron's expectations were high, and he came and exceeded the already high expectations.
No. So see, I'm not talking about what his career has turned into. I'm not even talking about what
that's
I'm
what I'm
not
saying.
even talking about what
I said the anticipation was here. Expectancy and anticipation was already set high. And I feel like LeBron just came and okay, me saying LeBron just came and smashed that is me trying to attest to how high the anticipation was, bro. Like people just knew, they just knew that this kid coming out of college, I mean high school, was gonna be generational. They just knew it.
right.
Right.
So they knew that LeBron was supposed to be or going to be generational because they've never seen a player like him play the way he played at that level. Caitlin Clark, generational, just as LeBron was generational. Caitlin Clark had a game of the women's college basketball that we have never seen, just as LeBron had a game at the high school level that we had never seen. LeBron James came in with, you could say, not necessarily the league on his shoulders, but an entire franchise on his shoulders. The expectation was that he was going to be the savior for this franchise in terms of like adding up the anticipation. Caitlin Clark, her anticipation isn't just to be the face and revive the Indiana Fever. Her anticipation and expectation is that she's going to bring new life and a long, everlasting viewership and revenue dollars for an entire league. Like, she has the most points scored man or woman in college basketball history. She's female Stephen Curry for all the generational talent that we saw Stephen Curry to be. She's all of that. And coming into this season, now if you want to say LeBron's anticipation was, more cool, but we can't act like it's not debatable. Like her anticipation, considering the run, she's like LeBron. I think Darnell said it. Like LeBron, his run, we didn't get to see LeBron like that. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I got to see LeBron like that in high school. I'm not gonna act like that. We got to see Caitlin Clark year after year, or maybe we could just say her last 2 years. Her last 2 years. We got social media to have her pushed in our face every day. Excuse me. We get to see the numbers of her breaking records game after game after game after game. Her games and at the collegiate level are breaking the records of WNBA games at the pro level. And you factor all of that in. I seen a stat today. They were playing the Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Sun ticket sales are like $100 for the season opener, right? Because Caitlin Clark is coming to town. The game after that, when she gone, they're like back down to $17. So like that anticipation, I believe, is LeBron-esque. Of her arrival into the WNBA, I believe is LeBron-esque in terms of his anticipation coming into the league.
I agree, brother. I agree. I don't disagree with nothing that you said. It's just if that is what we're judging it by, then I just have to give that its due respect. If we leave LeBron all the way out of the conversation and say who has been the most anticipated, Darnell gave it to Wemby. I give it to her just a tad bit over Wemby simply because of all the things that you say, right? Now, there's another thing too, right?
Break it down.
Everybody's mad at me. Everybody's mad at me because I'm like, what's she crying for? But that old Angel Reese kind of took away from her staying a little bit, coming from this last year's tournament, this last year's tournament, moving into the WNBA. It kind of was like, well, half the people are watching Angel Reese and the rest of everybody else is watching Caitlin. I think the real G's is watching Caitlin, and everybody who just want to go with the flow.
Like, I mean, to what you're saying, I don't even think it's close. Like, I don't think Angel Reese took any viewership away from Caitlin Clark, and they played each other in a tournament, so they both used their superpowers and their star power to continuously rise the game. And you could argue that anticipation helped Caitlin Clark, and that anticipation helped Angel Reese as they're both coming into the league. But you know, putting Angel Reese to the side and focusing solely on Caitlin Clark. Again, Caitlin Clark was a #1 overall draft pick. LeBron was a #1 overall draft pick. It's just like I see the similarities between them and their emergence into the league. To me, is like too similar to be like, is what made me feel like, dang, like who's the most anticipated? Like I would like to go back and research, and I probably should, just to bring it back on the pod for next week. Like just whatever LeBron's numbers was in terms of viewership, like his first game. I'm pretty sure we'll get the numbers tomorrow from Caitlin Clark. But I would edge her over Wemby Darnell only because like she's an American player, and I just feel like like just that draw alone from her, like, you know, this being her native land compared to Wemby being overseas, I would give her the edge in that regard. Obviously not taking that from Wemby, who's a freak of nature. A shout out to the Rookie of the Year. But yeah, man, I would say, you know, if you want to say LeBron, I'm not tripping off that. I just think it's a highly close race to the finish line. Go to the booth review to like make sure like who crossed the finish line. Like I think it's close. I don't think it's like LeBron is light years ahead of like her, and in terms of anticipation.
No, I don't think so neither. I don't think you can just dismiss her when it comes to it. But you know that's how it goes, and we sticking by
it. Nah, man. I was about to wrap up the show, but before we do, NBA second round recaps right now. Last week, Dacius, you wasn't on, so you get to save face because we didn't get to get your prediction on record. However, maybe Darnell. The question last week was, is Denver getting swept after they went down 2-0? I know I said yes. I believe Sean Hart Izzo said yes. Darnell may have said no. I'm not sure. But yeah, I said no. Obviously, I was wrong. They have now tied the series, right? Denver going up against the Timberwolves. At this point, it's the best of 3. Denver has gotten home court advantage back. Sedacious, who do you have winning this series now that it's tied 2-2? And we're doing this, it'll be posted after the game is over, but we're doing this literally before the game starts. The game may have already started, but it literally just started. Who do you have winning this series? Sedacious, out of
That's crazy. So can I say whoever wins this game tonight, game 5, is who takes the series? Because that's what I truly believe.
And 6 or 7? Or you just gonna leave it 7? Okay. Darnell?
Because if Denver wins tonight, they got to go home, and if Minnesota wins tonight, they got to defend home. So I think that's dicey on either side.
Who you got, Black Peace?
I got Timberwolves, man.
Winning the series.
Win the series in 7. I just feel like, you know, they got the right tools. Just keep it short, bro. They got the right
Ladies
tools.
and gentlemen, Darnell has picked against Jokic.
Granted, yes,
Everybody hold the
but
phones.
also with that being said, I mean, well, I'm gonna elaborate just a little bit.
It's
I
like,
think
no,
they
no,
figured out.
no.
Well, I think they figured out the secret to like neutralizing or stabilizing the Denver Nuggets, which is to slow down their main facilitator, who is Jokic. So that's what I think their main success is going to come from. I predict them probably having one double digit assist game throughout the whole entire series. Just one.
I think that the Timberwolves missed the golden opportunity to slay the king, and that being the Joker, Nikola Jokic. Going down or going up 2-0 in the circumstances in which you won 2 games on their home floor, you still back home court advantage. You giving them all the power back. You giving them all the confidence back. And most importantly, you giving them home court advantage back. I believe they're rolling now. I believe they're fully awake and alert for every game throughout the remainder of this series. I also believe that you gave them y'all best shot at going up 2-0. Y'all gave them y'all best shot at hounding Jamal Murray, who was, dealing with the nagging injuries, and everything that y'all worked so hard for in those 2 games, you gave it away in the next 2 games. Now, because of all of that, I think experience and championship pedigree is going to overcome the Timberwolves. And that's why I'm picking Denver, who I did say was going to get swept. So, hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
With the cameo.
So yeah, so all those things, I did say they was going to get swept. Guess what? I'm no psychic. Only Black Peace is.
That make you good at this analyst job, man.
but yeah, all of that, as I just stated, is the reason I think Denver is going to win this series in 6. I think the Timberwolves are. I don't feel like they got nothing else to give. And I don't see Ant folding, but in terms of his supporting cast, I think them guys gave you some of the best games they could have possibly gave you in those first 2 games. And it was their job collectively as a team to at least go up 3-1, not go back to Denver tied 2-2. So I got Denver winning this series in 6. They're going to win tonight, game 5. And I think they're going to not let up in game 6 at all. Like, we just won 2 games on y'all home floor. What makes y'all think we don't got the confidence to go in there and kill y'all in front of y'all home crowd to end this series? Denver in 6 after the series is tied 2 games apiece. Celtics, Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell not playing no more. We're not facing to waste most of my breath. We all
Is
got.
it neither, or is it the Western semifinals is the only thing that people is watching?
That's always the case. Celtics beating the Cavaliers tomorrow. That is what it is. Thunder Mavericks. So Sedacious. Last week also, I believe the series was tied 1-1 at the time. The series was tied 1-1 when we did the pod last week, and they was going into game 3. Dacious had Isaac Scheinhart Izzo pick the Dallas Mavericks. He was riding with Luka and Kyrie Irving. Me and Black Peace, we was choosing OKC, riding out with their defense, and obviously Shea. Right now this series is tied 2-2. Dallas went up 2-1. a great, phenomenal performance by Shea last night to will this team to victory, to tie the series back up to 2-2 and take back home court advantage as the #1 seed going against Dallas. Right now, you factor in Luka isn't 100%. And yeah, OKC takes game 1, Dallas takes games 2 and 3. OKC ties the series with game 4. From that standpoint on, who do y'all have winning this series and in how many games?
OKC still has home court advantage right now.
Yeah, series tied 2-2.
I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say OKC simply because the kid seems like he's on a mission, and I always got to go for that guy. So I mean, I know Luka and Kyrie. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. We like the duo, but if a young gun gonna come from the concrete and be a rose, I'm all for that. So I'm going OKC in 7.
I definitely would say Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Stars, Dallas Cowboys, OKC in 6.
I got OKC in 7. I think Luka and Kai think they'll get you a game. I wouldn't be surprised if Luka set out game 5, considering how glaringly obvious the injury has looked. So I wouldn't be surprised if he set out game 5 and just see what happens, knowing that he gets a guaranteed game at home for game 6. I'm gonna say OKC in 7. OKC gonna win, going back to the crib for 5. Anything could happen in game 6. I think Denver, they may have enough willpower game 6. Because even through this playoff process, we're still witnessing how the Oklahoma City will respond with having such a young team, and even Shea himself not having a long history of a playoff pedigree and experience. I will say hats off to them being able to keep their composure, not get rattled, being down 2-1. With 3-1, being down 3-1 in your face, you're on the road at Dallas. Shea put on a Kobe Bryant like Mamba mentality performance. Like, no, we're not losing this game. So shout out to Shea for that, and everybody else on the team. Holding it down. Lou Dort, triple salute to you. Again, Luka ain't fully healthy, but I'm not taking credit away in any way, shape, form, or fashion of what Luke Dort has just been doing to make it tough on Luka as much as he can. We've seen how he absolutely made the New Orleans Pelicans disown Brandon Ingram, and that being Luke Dort with the solitary confinement job he he put on Brandon Ingram. So shout out to Luke Dort and his defense, man, and this Oklahoma City, man, like they just rolling. I like their chemistry, the confidence that they're developing. They know when it's like, hey, we need to get Shea some help.
They play winning basketball.
They play winning basketball. No, they play winning basketball. They know when to get Shea help. They know when to be like, oh, here you go, Shea. Lead us to the promised land. And I said that last week. I feel like for Luka and Kyrie with Dallas, all their guys have to get fed, spoon-fed through Kyrie and through Luka. Whereas why I picked and leaned towards OKC is because I just feel like they're the better, well-oiled team. And just in terms of guys can create their own shot. They don't have to sit around and wait on Shea to spoon feed them. Like they could go get it on their own, which is why I like them more as a complete team as opposed to the Dallas Mavericks, and they play defense on top of that. So yeah, I got the Thunder winning this series in 7. That would bring us to the series where can't nobody win on the road, and that being the Indiana Pacers. I was gonna say Fever, Indiana Pacers, and the New York Knicks. this series is New York currently leads this series 3-2. Another blowout tonight. New York Knicks win the game 121 Pacers 121-91. With that being said, do the Knicks close out this series in 6 on the road against the Pacers, or do they have to win it in 7? Because at this point, the Pacers either have to win in 7 or they're gonna lose in 6, or win in 7. But I don't believe them to be a team that can win on the road against this New York Knicks team. But yeah, right now Knicks lead the series 3-2, and right now it's best of 2.
It's looking like Knicks in 6. Yeah, Jalen Brunson is on a tear, and he's just like, yo, y'all just stop doing what y'all doing. Y'all rest for the next series because I'm gonna need y'all. But right now, I'm gonna just take care of them. Because without Tyrese Halliburton, they ain't nobody. I like Siakam. He good, but he ain't enough. And yeah, it just is what it is. I'm sorry. This is what playoff basketball is about. We getting to weed out all the teams that thought that they was good in the first round. Then we get to the second round, is when you realize, oh, we ain't that good. Okay. And that's what happened to Iverson in the finals. We was like, oh, Iverson is so good, he finna do it. This is like, oh, it's Shaq and Kobe.
Hey, AI got a game, bro. He just didn't have a team, but he got a game at least. AI got a game.
Right. We was excited about it too. We was like, oh, we in here. And it was like, yeah, no, it was just a gentleman's sweep. Oh. It's the same. It's the same. The Pacers ain't been good since Reggie Miller, for real. Sorry, Paul George fans, but LeBron, LeBron, we ruled y'all a little era, so got that out. But yeah, Knicks in 6. And I like it because Jalen Brunson used to be on the Mavs, and it was like, well, is he just a good fit to the Mavs, or can he be a star player? And he was like, nigga, get me on my own team and watch what I do.
Who you got coming out of this series, Black Peace?
Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6. I think Knicks in 7. The Pacers gonna win Game 6.
Right.
Pacers gonna win. They just play great. They play phenomenal at home, bro. It's just like
it's something about that crowd, man. I don't know.
Like they play phenomenal at home. Guys guys be hitting tons of shots. However, there is something to be said. I don't know what's up with these blunders that Tyrese Halliburton be having, where one game he take 8 shots, 9 shots. The next game I think they're a better team. When I get it, you're not a Stephen Curry, you're not a Dame type of guard, a Kyrie type of guard, a Luka type of guard, a Jalen Brunson type of guard. Like they said, you grew up watching Magic Johnson. I get that, and it shows. But I think he has to just find find that balance to where you could get a guaranteed 15 shots a game and still find your teammates open. But it was a blowout, so I don't know how much credence we want to put on that. But every time I see he only took 9 shots, I just be like, your team needs you to score. But go ahead, Daisha.
Unpopular opinion, he's not that guy to me. I'm sorry. It's unpopular opinion. Tyler, he's not that guy to me. I'm sorry.
Did you feel this way before the injury?
I felt this way before he got shipped to Indiana. When they felt like you were our guy, I was like, oh, that's a mistake. But hey, I don't like saying anything beforehand because it could come off as hating more than foresight, right? But then when it happened, it's like,
then you really sound like a hater when it happened.
Damn, I knew that, man. You sound like a hater. Like, oh, you just knew he was gonna be a bust when he got his own team. You can just tell in the work ethic. You can tell in the patterns. You can tell in the movements, the footwork, the dedication, the hustle, the getting up and down the floor. You can tell. I can tell with James Harden. I just never said nothing because he in my city, and I like the Rockets. I love the Rockets.
But James an MVP, though.
Right, but
when you
like I
say
say,
when you say not that guy, what does that mean for Sedacious specific? Because that's a broad statement. Anybody can say he's not that guy, but
Jason Tatum is still yet to show that he's that guy.
What qualifications go into or show you that somebody is the guy or not the guy? What is that?
When I see you get the ball and you attack the defense, like I don't care what the defense is, I don't care who is in front of me, I don't care what's going on. Whatever it is that I say in my mind is going to happen, it's going to happen. I don't care if I miss or whatever the case is. I don't care if I take on a double team or I could have took the shot and I dish it out. I'm gonna do whatever it is that I want to do. With LeBron, we look at it as like a cop-out type of deal. It's like, bro, you've gotten so big now. Why are you still passing that goddamn rock? Right? It's because another famous Laker that we knew that rocked the purple and gold, he ain't passing that rock. Right? But with LeBron, he's so great and he's multifaceted in his game, we let him make it for real. But when we're looking at the Devin Bookers of the world, we're looking at the Jason Tatums of the world, we're looking at the Kevin Durant's of the world, we're looking at the Jamal Murray's, the Stephen Curry's, when we're looking at the Jokic's of the world, the Antetokounmpos of the world, those guys play like I don't care who was on this floor, right? I can't say the same for Tyrese Halliburton. I think he's a great basketball player. There's a upper echelon of demonistic behavior with NBA players when they play in that game. When we see on TV, it's just like little guys running up and down the court. Edward, Darnell, we've all played basketball together. We know the tenacity and how intense that get for real. Like when we in that realm, we ain't brothers for real. If you over there on that team, you on that team, right? If I'm shit talking that team, I'm sorry, brother, I'm shit talking you too, right?
And we don't get paid.
When we go to we don't get paid. Y'all get to go to the All-Star game and laugh and joke and talk and do all that stuff together. And I be watching. I be watching to see which one of y'all is too friendly. Because y'all are the ones that's not gonna get no championships. Y'all keep trying to be buddy LeBron. LeBron trying to take y'all head off. He's trying to be y'all friend so he can say something to y'all in the game that's gonna affect you like Gilbert Arenas. You see what I'm saying? Y'all not understanding. It's a different type of dog. Kobe said it a long time ago, bro. I just realized that nobody in this league worked. Yeah, they don't work. I just had to start working. And I just start working hard. And what do you know? Everybody just start saying I was the best. But it was really because they bozos and they don't work hard. Saying all of this to say, I just don't see it in Tyrese Halliburton. Even though Devin Booker doesn't have like that Mamba tenacity that I'm looking for in a player, he still got that one thing where it's just like, I don't care who you are. You could be Jesus can send Kobe down here to get in front of me. He's not gonna stop this mid-range. When I boop, nobody's stopping that. I just don't see that out of Tyrese Halliburton. Even when James Harden would do the step back, it's like, oh, here it comes, splash. And then everybody's running back down court. 50-point games all over the place, right? James Harden just never had the Kobe mentality, that the thing that you needed to win. But there's a level, and James Harden was on that level. Tracy McGrady was on that level. Allen Iverson was on that level. Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, all these guys, Grant Hill, they was on that level.
Is your not that guy, is that synonymous with being a dog, or do you?
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
Okay. Got you. I got you. Yeah, man. I believe we went through all this. Yeah, we went through all the series. Did Denver Nuggets, T-Wolves, did Nuggets.
No hard feelings, Tyrese.
Indiana.
I hope that you hear me speak and want to turn your game up to the next level. and blame me. I'll take the hate mail. Blame me if that's gonna make you reach your plateau of greatness.
Bro, so in honor of our brother Shine Izzo, who's not here with us tonight, we'll do a little Shine Izzo surgical picks. There's only 2 games left, right? Again, they play absolutely phenomenal at home, that being the Indiana Pacers. More specifically, at home, TJ McConnell has been absolutely electrifying at home. And there's just this absurd up and down pattern with TJ McConnell's rebound and assists, right? So game one, TJ McConnell, his rebounds and assists, he had 4, right? Then game two, he had, it's really every other game, but game one, TJ McConnell coming off the bench, he had 4 rebounds and assists. Game two, he had 16 rebounds and assists. Game 3, he has 4 rebounds and assists. Game 5, he has 14 rebounds and assists. Game 5 tonight, he got 5 rebounds and assists. So if you just pay attention to that pattern, you know, the pattern shows us he should be going through the roof, going back home on rebounds and assists. And if he happens to do it, nuke the under for game 7 for him. Nuke the under for game 7 on TJ McConnell's rebound and assist if he soars over at home like he's been doing with this up and down pattern. Yes, I just looked at it and it agitated me in my brain that like I didn't really like seek out to play it just because. But beautiful people, that is what you call a great episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching us. We now have a WNBA here before us. I'm going to personally be trying to start a WNBA show and just, you know, bringing my perspective to the game. There's some podcasts out there or shows out there, but obviously you don't get the WNBA every single day like you get every other sport. And I think I could have some good insight and perspective to offer to the game, you know, as it continues to build and grow. So be on the lookout.
Y'all be on the lookout for that.
Be on the lookout for that. Definitely. Make sure y'all go follow our brother at Shineheart Izzo. It's down there in the description. You can go follow him. He wasn't in the building tonight. Nonetheless, we held it down for him. Yeah, man. Again, happy belated.
Talking Smoke on Instagram. Talking Smoke on all streaming platforms.
If you're talking, I hope it's with smoke. Yeah, beautiful people, and we will see you next week. This is the Respect the Game podcast.